Y'all see how fast January went? It is February 1st, and I literally cannot believe it. Oh my gosh. I've been a bit unplugged for the month of January on purpose, and I had some time to think about some things, and I wanted to ask you all, do you realize how your emotions affects your money? Emotions and money. Let me explain. There are people that are emotional eaters, okay? So when they're feeling bad, they eat. When they're feeling good, they eat. As a matter of fact, eating is something that we use for, celebrations or to treat ourselves. If something good happens, we go out to eat, and that's good. I love to eat. I love a good meal. I love cooking a good meal. I love consuming a good meal. However, when we are emotionally driven by anything, or towards anything, even like eating, that means that by default we are going to be spending money that maybe we had no intentions of spending, or spending money that actually is allocated for something else, or spending money that needs to be allocated to something else. Okay. If you are an emotional eater and you are in a stressful season, that means most likely you are eating out more, you're doing more drive-throughs, you could be sitting down at a nice restaurant more often because you need the boost emotionally, and this is how you're doing it. And each time you're tapping that card, each time you're swiping that card, you're tapping that phone, whatever it is, okay? And it is derailing your budget. A lot of times we don't even realize how much we're spending on eating out. Or even we could be cooking at home, but if we're doing it out of emotionalism, it can still be way over our budget, okay? What about shop therapy? Shop therapy, which means there are people that when they feel emotional, when they feel badly about something, or they're struggling with something emotionally, they go and they shop. They shop online, which can actually be really dangerous because you're in the privacy of your own home, and you can go to so many different websites and you're just shopping. And most times, if you're, like say for instance Amazon or something like that, your card information is already in your account. Shop therapy. Some people, when they actually go to the store and they're actually going through the items, that is therapy for them, and they actually go through and buy. Some people can go and like window shop and it kind of fills that void, but there's a number of people that shop therapy means they are literally buying the items, okay? And it makes them feel better emotionally. But what it doesn't help is the budget. If it's something that you don't need or it wasn't in your budget to buy, but because something has happened and you're feeling emotional and you're trying to, heal yourself, lick your wounds, then this is how we derail budgets. This is how we are spending money that should be either going into a high yield savings or going into a brokerage account or going into our 401k. This is how that happens. Our emotions affecting our wallets. Have you noticed a pattern within yourself when you feel emotional? I was actually just having a conversation with my mother today, and she was sharing some things with me in terms of like some like downloads from God that she got back in several years ago, that she just found the notes for. And when she was sharing with me like the dates associated, it made me realize what was going on during in my life during that time. And it was very much a, it's like right before a tumultuous period and then right after a tumultuous period. And I realized that I have always been an emotional person, which having emotions, expressing emotions is not a bad thing. Like, I am glad to be a person who is emotional, that feels deeply, etc. However, I realized for a good period of my life, my emotions really affected me to the point where it was driving me, it was controlling me, as opposed to me controlling my emotions. So that's when we have the coping mechanisms or the responses to something that is happening to us or in our lives that is causing an emotional reaction. And now we are responding to that by eating, by shopping, by fill in the blank. Some people, they may drink. They're feeling emotional, they're feeling badly, they're trying to make themselves feel better. That's when you hear the phrase, I need a drink, okay? And when I say drink, I'm talking about alcohol, clearly, okay? And then next thing you know, there's a leaning and a dependence on that. Now, every time I feel emotional, every time I feel bad, or every time even I feel happy, I go for the drink. And it can easily get out of hand and out of control. Okay. Sometimes it's, what about intimacy? Okay. Some of us, when we feel emotional or our emotions have raised up, I was trying to think of the word. Sometimes we look for comfort in a soft or hard place to land. Okay. Many people have, a baby daddy and a baby mama right now because they were in an emotional state, made a phone call to someone to try to get some comfort, and here we go. They end up, being attached to this person that maybe they had no intentions of being attached to. Maybe weren't even in a relationship with the person. But because of being emotionally driven in the moment, things happened and the resulting consequences. And it's not just babies, it could be anything. There's a lot of things that can result out of having a leaning on someone intimately out of emotionalism. Okay. There's so many things. There's so many things. And I realized that one of my biggest goals in life has been to get my emotions under control, because I did not want to continue to make decisions out of emotionalism. Again, nothing wrong with emotions. You should be passionate and full of life and fully feeling everything. But to be driven by your emotions to the point where now you need healing outside of yourself, it really, really not only can, again, derail your life choices and decisions, but also within that, your money, the money bag. I really am going to be talking more about money this year because I am on a certain trek and journey at this particular point in my life. And I'm looking at every corner and crevice in terms of what is affecting my money, my budget. And a lot of times, we talk about, and I talked about in my book, Winning, a practical guide to living your best financial life, that one of the things that a lot of us we're not conscious of is our money mindset. We all have a money mindset, whether we realize it or not. We all have a financial culture that we come from in terms of our family, how we observed growing up money being handled, how we observed, when good things happened or when bad things happened, how we observed what responses would happen within the household. how emotions manifested, and what that actually entailed or connected to. For example, if there was a big fight, if your parents got into a big fight, okay, and it was bad. Next thing you know, maybe daddy, because he's trying to heal what was broken, maybe he's trying to reconcile, he goes out and buys something for your mom to try to make her feel better, for her to forgive him, etc. Whether it could be as something as simple as flowers, or something as a big date, or take her on a big trip, or buy her a big, a piece of jewelry, a handbag, whatever the case may be. But there's something that he's trying to do, and maybe he's trying to fill that void, or get forgiveness, or whatever, heal that wound by spending money. And sometimes it's money that is not there, or was allocated for something else. And if as a child you observe that, that has an impact on how you think about money, how you think about emotions and money, conflict and money. It's all connected. So as we're still in the early part of the year, and y'all see it's moving really fast, let's think about how our emotions actually affects our wallets. And let's be more conscious of it, so that as we go into this year, we can make better choices. If you are feeling emotional, if something bad or hard or disturbing has happened, be conscious of trying to fill that void or numb those feelings by spending money. It is a very temporary fix, and could have other long-term residual effects. By now, credit card debt running up, being behind on, some of your financial goals, because you have spent money that you didn't intend to spend, but you wanted to feel better, so you spent it. You weren't feeling good. You had a breakup, so you book you a trip. Money that you weren't planning to spend. You're trying to feel better, so you're going to get this or you're going to get that. Here's another thing, and real quick I'll say, one of the things that I am determined to do for this year, and I was conscious of it in January, is to use what I already have. Doing things like shopping my own closet before I say, oh, I don't have anything to wear to this event. Get in the closet and shop. And I don't know about you gentlemen, but ladies, many ladies have, maybe more than one closet, taking up everybody else's space in the house, and I have no idea what's actually in the closet, because things are pushed to the back, piled on the top of the shelf, buried in the back of the drawer. And we don't even realize what we already have, and we just go out and spend money and buy something else. What about, things like, makeup or other like beauty things? And that's men and women. Men, you may not wear makeup, but you have other things. Maybe you like trying different shaving creams, or you have different, the shavers or whatever, electric, manual, all of those things. Whatever it is, whatever your thing is, a lot of times we are just stockpiling things, or we're in one of those trying to, comfort ourselves and soothe ourselves. And we're just in the stores, and it seems like a good idea at the time to buy something. Or maybe it's a sale. You're going in the store because it's a sale. You don't really need the stuff, because you actually already have a bunch of stuff in it. Case in point, I bought this lotion last year, probably early last year, or maybe even late the previous year, sitting on my perfume, lotions, all that stuff sitting on, and I had not even used it. And I have been tempted to purchase more. But I was like, I need to stop this. I need to use what I have, because guess what? This stuff does eventually go bad. Eventually it starts smelling kind of off. Eventually the ingredients start to separate, okay? If you keep it too long, you realize perfumes and lotions, they start to do that. So this is another way that we're wasting money. And again, it's tied to emotionalism. We're filling voids in the stores. We stockpiling more and more stuff, forgetting what we have, and then the cycle continues. Can you relate? I know I'm not the only one. We still have a chance to do it better. We still have a chance to reallocate some funds to make them work for us and grow for us, okay? And you can say, oh, it was only $10, it was only $20, it was only, but it adds up. It adds up. And that $20 could have went into your high yield savings account or into your brokerage account, and you could have brought either, a stock of this or stock of that, a share of this, a share of that, or even a partial share, okay? And it's working for you instead of us just being consumers out of emotionalism. All right. That's it. That's all. I don't know where I'm going with this My Lady Lessons platform. Those of you all who are here and who watch the videos, I do appreciate you all. Those who make comments, those who share, even those who watch and I don't know you're watching until I happen to see you in person and then you tell me that you watch. I appreciate you as well. But I'm really doing some soul searching and some seeking about the things that I need to be doing in this new year. And so stay tuned. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this. I definitely enjoy sharing. I think it's very valuable, and it's something I do enjoy doing, but I want to be very divinely led. I want to be led by God. I want to be in alignment. And I have a lot of things that are happening and that's coming down the pipe for me. And I just want to make sure that I'm only doing the things that I should be doing. Can you relate to that? If you're not thinking that way, I encourage you to think that way. There's a lot of good things for us to do. There's even a lot of good things for us to consume. But sometimes that is the very thing that's derailing us or distracting us from something else that we're supposed to be doing. Okay? I offer that up. If you made it to the end of the video, please do like, please do subscribe, comment. I want to hear from you all. I want to hear your thoughts. How has this year been thus far for you all? Is what are you doing this year? Not so much in terms of like resolutions or goals, but just, are you thinking differently about this year as opposed to last year? Are there some things that you want to change? Are there some things that you want to be more cognizant of this year? Okay, let's talk about it. Bye.